Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again. So for today guys, we're going to shoot another episode of Threshold and this is episode 5. So for our episode 5, the title of our episode would be An Athlete's Boost. Alright. So this is an episode about physical therapists in the sports scene. For today guys, ang kasama ko is also a registered physical therapist and I hope marami kayo matutunan sa kanya with regards to PTs dealing with sports cases and also dealing with athletes conditions. Okay, without further ado, papasukin na natin siya sa ating meeting. Okay guys, so kasama na natin ang ating guest
Yeah.
for today. So we have JR Mariano. So he is already a physical therapist like me. So ang ating topic for today is yun nga sinabi ko sa inyo, an athlete's boost. So physical therapist in the sports scene. So JR, ready ka na ba mag-answer ng questions?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, let's begin with question number 1. So our question number 1 is, what can you say about sports PT?
Sports PT. I guess sports PT is fun. It's more. It's a different, well, cup of tea, if you may say, from other kinds of PT. Kasi, yun nga, yung clients mo dito are athletes, are people who you'd think don't really need PT, but uh, in many aspects, PT is actually the most important part of their training. And I guess what else can I say about sports PT? It's I guess a puzzle. Kasi yun nga, when you treat athletes, they're not really quote unquote like sometimes naman mask yung parang yung problem nila kasi nga parang most of their I'm getting too specific na, but in general ganun yung sports PT, I guess parang it's not well, ideally naman for every patient dapat hindi dapat tailor fit yung program or yung treatment mo, but in sports PT, I guess you really have to assess um, well, like to see whatever the athlete can improve on, mga ganun, stuff like that. And yeah, I guess we'll know more about sports PT with the next questions.
Okay, so parang ang binigay sa atin ni JR is more of yung general and broad explanation regarding sports PT. Pero ang naka-target talaga siya is more on the athlete and how we're going to assess him or her sa kanya magiging overall treatment, whether it's acute phase or chronic phase. So, doon na tayo pupunta sa
Yes.
ating second question, JR. So, what is the role of physical therapist to an athlete's performance?
Um, well, I believe that PTs play a critical role in the performance of athletes kasi yun nga, our profession basically deals on how to make a person function to the best of their ability. So, if you put that in line with sports, it's how can PTs make athletes the best that they can be and perform better. Parang nga pagdating ng, competitions nila, they can win. And you're putting them in the best position to do that. And yeah, that I guess is the role of the PT, is to, make the athletes the best that they can be so that they can, win a lot and, compete. So it's like kind of like a partnership, I guess, but it's so much more than, yeah, just being partners.
Okay, so since sinabi nga ni JR na yung between a PT and an athlete, there is a certain connection, there's a certain partnership kasi syempre parang dapat yung PT, dedicated siya doon sa kanyang athlete para talagang yung maging result would be okay since yung nga athlete would be, ang goal niya is to win the game. Okay, since yun nga sinabi
Yeah.
mo yung connection, relationship, so what is it like treating an athlete, JR?
Uh, Cheating an athlete. Well, just to give light on what I did before, because I was working in a sports clinic, which mainly caters to what do you call this? Mga high school athletes. Or actually, we have some PBA players who come and go, but then they're treated differently. Pero I guess from my experience with treating athletes, um, it's nice to it's nice to treat them because one, their 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 treatment is not your normal treatments that you do in hospitals. It's not you can go a little bit further with the exercises, I guess, with athletes. And that's nice for me because I like, well, one of the things that I really like is exercising. So uh yun nga, parang with treating athletes, you focus more on that. I mean, yeah, you focus more on that aspect of PT. Although also, if you treat athletes, you also do, well, for me, for my practice, nagma-manual therapy ako. So it really depends on the sports PT, but it's fun. It's fun nga kasi yun nga, you get to challenge really the athlete. So yeah, shout out to Vin. So, I forgot your last name. Pero one of my patients before, si Vin, sobrang is nice.
Okay, so
And
sa nakuha natin kay JR,
yeah,
yun nga, yung
anyways.
treatment niya with an
Ikaw.
athlete, it is out of the box. Like, it's not conventional treatment like yung ginagawa natin
Yeah.
sa mga hospitals. So, parang you need to be creative para kahit papano, hindi rin mabore yung athletes mo sa exercises na pinaprovide mo sa kanila.
And in addition to that, when you train athletes, since nga their function is sports based, so you can have basketball athletes, volleyball athletes, soccer, yeah, football athletes, all types. So those different sports, they require like um, different modes of training, I'd say. And as a sports PT, parang yun nga, as part of making the athlete the best that he can be for a particular sport, you have to really modify your regimen para, kunwari, for example, specifically, let's say for basketball. So, syempre, you train your athletes to jump high kasi nga, yeah, that's what they do in the game, and to sprint fast. So, yun nga, that's part of training an athlete, parang making sure that what you do in your training translates to their game and helps them to you know get move freer, I guess, or like masisync yung utak nila sa sa body nila, and yeah, able to perform better basically.
All right. So, next question, JR. Since yun nga, magpo-provide
Yes.
tayo ng exercise for them. So, since before we do our exercises, some of us perform warm-ups or cool down. So, ask ko lang, is stretching really important and why?
I'd say yes, it's really important, mainly because a lot of injuries can happen if you don't stretch. So one of the things that usually happens with people who exercise and don't stretch is they get muscle strains, or their muscles are so tight that when they lengthen, or yeah, their mobility is not good, so yun nga, na injure. So we don't want that, and that's why we stretch para to keep the mobility ng muscle, para yung range of motion mo sa joints mo, like, yeah, most yeah, your range of motion sa joints will be optimal for for playing. And then also with that, because if you have good range of motion, you can have better balance. You can have greater force production from your muscles, so you'll get stronger definitely. And I think an important thing to note, Ren, is like how to stretch, because sometimes people just they bounce pa, or some people stretch na they only do like 10 seconds ganon. So it's those things na a PT knows that really help an athlete perform better, kasi yun nga, syempre for us we studied for 5 years about it. So um we know that how important really stretching is. And yeah, so if you're watching this and you don't know how to stretch, you can contact your physical therapist and they can help you. And then also, by the way, before you stretch, one of the things I always say, kailangan you have to warm up before you're stretching, because it really helps if your muscles have blood pumped into them already before you stretch. So yeah, tip.
Okay. Okay, so mukhang na-explain naman ni JR ng maayos yung sa concept of stretching and also yung importance ng warm-up and also cool down. So, maganda rin na i-consider niyo yun, syempre, to prevent injuries, and syempre, alam na rin ng mga athletes yun. Yun nga lang, may mga ibang athletes na nagpe-perform ng iba-ibang stretching, nag-experiment sila ng ibang stretching. So, mas maganda yung
Mhm.
alam pa rin nila yung proper form para ma-prevent yung injuries. Kasi minsan, sa stretching pa lang, nagkaka-injury na sila. So, yun yung
Oo nga.
iniiwasan namin mga PTs. Okay, so
Yes.
next question tayo. So, what is the role of physical therapists towards injuries?
Um, okay, I think, well, first and foremost, our role is to prevent injuries. For me, better talaga to prevent. So, yun nga. That's why you have to, our role as PTs is yun nga, to maintain, I guess, the flexibility of our athletes para they don't get injured. You maintain the strength of your athletes para their body can handle the stress. And then, aside from preventing, syempre pag na-injure na, which is the case naman, all the time, you can really, escape injuries. It's always there. So, I guess, kasi you can divide it into different settings. I guess one would be acute phase of the injury. So usually in yung mga team na PTs who are watching the game, and then yun nga, if they see that if their player is down, usually sila magko-call if parang okay, he can't play anymore, or he can still play, I'll just stretch him out, ganon. So usually yun yung role ng PT pag acute. And then there's this other way naman na when an athlete gets injured and then they have to undergo through surgery, ganon. So usually after a surgery, kasi the athlete is weak. So that's when our as PTs come in para to help them get back to where they were, if not even better than before. Kasi it's not hindi lang siya, if you keep working at it, it will go back to normal. That's why we have PTs, kasi sila talaga yung magde-design ng yung mga program for the athletes para we can progress. Usually, as I say, progress accordingly, because with injuries, they don't heal in a day. They take time. So there's a specific time period that PTs follow na okay, by this time he should be doing this, or by this time dapat ganito nakalakas yung leg niya or stuff like that. So or shoulder even. So there's mga ganun na factors for injuries.
Okay. So, yun nga, sabi nga ni
Yeah.
JR sa first na line niya is better pa rin na ma-prevent natin yung injury. But PTs follow certain protocols para kasi may mga times na yung PT mag-intervene during the acute phase or after the surgery, so yung mga chronic conditions na. So, maraming magiging role ang PTs when it comes to injuries. So, let's proceed
Mhm.
na to our last question. So, JR, what do you think of sports as a PD specialization? So para dun sa mga interested na maging sports PTs.
I would say it's a good line. Um, Money wise, I would say yeah. It's a really good line. Realistically speaking, teams really do pay well. Uh, but other than that, it's really fun if you're passionate about uh, biomechanics. I guess if you're passionate about sports, if you're competitive ganun, parang gusto mo manalo pero ayaw mo maglaro. So some PTs have that parang oh, panalo kami, ganun, pero hindi siya like PT siya, parang ganun. Pero yun nga, it's part of the job kasi parang you feel like you're part of the team. You're a member of the team. Like their win is also your win. So ganun. And I feel like now, as a specialty, there's a lot that you really need to study to to um, to go into the field and to be successful. Because well, here in our setting, kasi sa Philippines, um, usually from what I heard from other people, usually pag teams kasi there are strength and conditioning coaches, PT coaches, iba-ibang people who handle stuff. But then there are also some teams that yung PT yung lahat nag-handle pati yung mga training nila ganun. So in that aspect, you really have to learn rin how to be a coach and how exercises are how exercises are prescribed ganun. And yeah, actually nutrition rin is important if you're a sports PT. And but then if you're just like an undergrad like me, wala pa mga specializations ganun. You can always work in sports clinics. Like I worked in Summit Wellness Center before. So yeah, it's a sports clinic, and iba-iba yung patients din. So yeah, just if you're passionate about it, and just keep researching, I guess, so that you can be a step ahead.
Okay, so since yung mga ano naman, yung mga undergrads dyan for sure na curious na rin regarding sports PT, so at least na-enlighten naman na kayo ni JR regarding to what to expect and of course kung ano yung mga dapat maging aware na kayo bago pa lang kayo mag-enter dun sa scene na yon. Okay, so tapos na tayo with the questions, JR. So, meron ka
Yeah.
bang gusto i-plug or may gusto ko bang i-shout out before we end this video?
Oh, I would just like to thank Kendra for inviting me on the show.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, yeah. Don't forget me when you're a big YouTube star. But then also, actually, want to thank syempre all my professors again before, and then Summit Wellness Center for giving me a chance to work there. All my coworkers there. Very thankful for you guys. Bye.